type here to make me say something. Someone may bring up the objection that after the law has accomplished its purpose of pointing the sinner to Christ for cleansing, it will no longer be needed in the experience of the believer. Is that true? No, indeed. The Christian will always need the watchdog of the law to reveal any deviation from the true path and to point him back to the cleansing cross of Jesus. There will never be a time when that mirror of correction will not be needed in the progressive growth experience of the Christian. Law and grace do not work in competition with each other but in perfect cooperation. The law points out sin, and grace saves from sin. The law is the will of God, and grace is the power to do the will of God. We do not obey the law in order to be saved but because we are saved. A beautiful text which combines the two in their true relationship is Revelation 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints, here are they that keep the commandments of God, and the faith of Jesus. What a perfect description of faith and works. And the combination is found in those who are saints. The works of obedience are the real test of love. This is why they are so necessary in the experience of a true believer. Faith without works is dead. James 2:20. No man ever won a fair maiden's heart by words alone. Had there been no flowers, no acts of devotion, no gifts of love, most men would still be searching for a companion. Jesus said, "Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven." Matthew 7:21. Words and profession are not enough. The true evidence is obedience. Today's bumper stickers reflect a shallow concept of love. They say, "Smile if you love Jesus. Honk if you love Jesus." But what did the Master himself say? He said, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." John 14:15. And that is exactly what most people don't want to do. If love makes no demands beyond a smile or wave, then it is welcome, but if the lifestyle must be disturbed, the majority will reject it. Unfortunately, most people today are not looking for truth. They are looking for a smooth, easy, comfortable religion that will allow them to live the way they please and still give assurance of salvation. There is indeed no true religion that can do that for them. One of the strongest texts in the Bible on this subject is found in 1 John 2:4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. John could write that with such assurance because it is one of the most deeply established truths in the Bible. Jesus spoke of those who said, Lord, Lord, but did not do the will of the Father. Then he described many who would seek entrance to the kingdom claiming to be workers of miracles in the name of Christ. But he would scornfully have to say, I never knew you, depart from me. Matthew 7:21-23. You see, to know Christ is to love him, and to love him is to obey him. The valid assumption of the Bible writers is very clear and simple. If one is not obeying Christ, he does not love Christ. And if he doesn't love the Master, then he doesn't know him. John assured us, and this is life eternal, that they might know thee the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent. John 17:3. Thus, we can see how knowing and loving and obeying are all tied closely together and are absolutely inseparable in the life of God's faithful people. The beloved John summed it up in these words. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. 1 John 5:3.
Countless Christians have been taught that since the law is spiritual and we are carnal, no human being will ever be able in this life to meet the requirements of the perfect law. Is this true? Has it been given by God as a great idealistic, impossible goal toward which converted souls should struggle but never expect to attain? Is there some hidden reservation or secret meaning in the many commands to obey the 10 great rules God wrote on stone? Did God mean what he said and say what he meant? Many believe that only Christ could have obeyed that law and only because he had special powers that have not been made available to us. Certainly it is true that Jesus is the only one who lived without committing a single act of disobedience. His reason for living that perfect, victorious life is laid out in Romans 8:3-4. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh but after the Spirit. Do not miss the point that Jesus came to condemn sin by his perfect life in the flesh in order that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us. What is that righteousness? The Greek word dikema is used here, which means, literally, the just requirement of the law. This can only mean that Christ won this perfect victory in order to make the same victory available to us. Having conquered the devil, showing that in the flesh the law can be obeyed, Christ now offers to come into our hearts and share the victory with us. Only by his strength and indwelling power can the requirements of the law be fulfilled by anyone.